Now, Telkom has announced that it will proceed with automatic transfer of staff from its call centre, supply chain and IT environments to new employers on the 31st of March. This after unions failed to secure a majority consensus on an additional offer from the company. SACU and Solidarity recently asked that Telkom make voluntary severance packages and voluntary early retirement packages available to employees. But the Communication Workers Union, the CWU, withheld the majority consent, which means no agreement could be reached. The company says illegal industrial action in the form of go-slows escalated this past weekend at their call centres with incidents of its staff intimidation. The CCMA will today facilitate Telkom's Section 189 consultations related to the closure of 20 non-viable Telkom Direct stores. Well, with me, Telkom spokesperson Jackie O'Sullivan joins me now for more on that issue. Jackie, good afternoon. Thanks for coming through. All right, let's just start with what the impact of the go-slow was. Over the weekend and in the weeks leading up to it, you had some irate consumers very frustrated on delivery as far as voice calls are concerned, as far as data is concerned, unable to address those issues. How severe has that impact been?
Devin, it really has been quite severe. We've had some problems over recent weeks. There's been an undercurrent of concern. We have suspected there were go-slow actions underway, but this weekend we actually saw that escalate. So we saw people actually logging out of the system. We saw people leaving work early. We saw people not arriving at all. And the impact has been really severe on our customers, and that's really why we're wanting to make sure that we can resolve this matter as quickly as possible, because the core of our business is our customer. We have to get this right. And what we're seeing at the moment are long delays, long holding times, and you're absolutely correct. We are frustrating our customers, and it can't keep going on like this. It
doesn't help to have the situation hang in the balance at the moment. You're going ahead with that automatic transfer of staff from the call centres, IT environments. Now, two unions have approached you and you have agreed to those conditions that they put forward. I believe one was moving the date of that transfer. The other one involved taking voluntary packages. The CWU withheld its stance on it. Where does it put the situation now, and have you spoken to that union today?
Where it leaves us is that as much as the employees are members of unions, they're also our employees, and they speak to us. So we heard the call both from Labour as well as from our employees that they want those severance packages. They want the option to be able to consider them. So we made that offer to them. As you correctly pointed out, the lack of a majority means we can't proceed. We have to take that offer off the table. We are currently meeting with all organised labour today. This is on the 189 process, which is the retrenchment of the affected staff who will be affected by the 20 store closures. However, we are continuing to be in engagements with Labour, and we'll wait to see what the response is from CWU. We would like to try and find a way to make sure that our employees are given options and actually have options available to them. And we thought that the voluntary severance and the early retirement options, as well as giving them an extra month with us, would be a good middle ground for everyone.
What's the main gripe here? As I understand it, some of the unions are saying, well, look, the conditions to where some of the workers are going to are just not good enough, not viable for them. What's the sticking point here with the CWU?
The sticking point, the CWU had raised that as a concern. We are going to obviously have another conversation with them. The law, the Labour Relations Act, is very clear. You cannot transfer staff unless you are transferring them to similar or better conditions. So it is absolutely not our intention to do anything other than that. So if there are reasonable grounds in which that can be shown, obviously we'll have those conversations, but we're very confident that we have met them on all those areas, and we've worked very hard to make sure that we'll deliver that similar experience to those employees.
So what's the expectation as far as the Section 189 retrenchment consultations are concerned? I believe meetings are taking place with the CCMA. Are you hopeful that something can come out of it?
The conversation around the 189 process is obviously very different to the 197 process. So the 189 process is consultation. We've agreed with unions on a plan, a timeline. So those meetings are happening to the schedule. They are, as you correctly said, being facilitated by the CCMA. So we are hopeful that we will still get to a resolution of those affected employees on the timeline that we've agreed. That is progressing at the moment to plan.
All right, let's just, in closing, very quickly, just take it back to mobile users, to data users. What's the picture looking like if we have this type of scenario now on the service level here?
Our mobile customers have always been served by an outsourced service provider, and we don't see major issues with our mobile service. However, we brought in additional staff. We've also upscaled our resources on the non-call center options. So whether it's through social media, through the website, through emails, through a chat service that we've set up. So there are other options that we've resourced to try and make sure that we can carry the load until the situation stabilizes.
All right, so those having frustration with the call centre can take those avenues. Right, thanks very much indeed. Jackie O'Sullivan, Telkom spokesperson. Thanks indeed for your time.
Thanks, Stephen.